Hello and good afternoon, and welcome to the virtual college exploration for all North and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers, CACRAO, and StriveScan. Just a couple quick things before we get started. First off, your camera and microphone are off, so our presenter cannot see or hear you. However, you do have access to a Q&A button on your screen, and you can use that to ask questions at any point. And you can also, if you're interested in signing up for more sessions, you can do that right at the CACRAO website, cacrao.org. And this recording will also be available on that site within about a week. So if you have friends who were not able to attend live today, or if you would like to go back and view the recording, it will be available on that site. So with that, I would like to go ahead and turn it over to our presenter.
All right, thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us, Anderson University, for our transfer presentation. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you all can see the presentation for today. So that should now be showing for everyone. And so again, as we just discussed, we will have a Q&A feature. So please use that as you are having questions, asking questions. What we'll do is plan to wrap up around 2:30, 2:35, and then really allow for me to manage the chat and start answering some of those questions that you all may have. Secondly, let me also mention while we're talking about questions is if we do not get to one of your questions, we will actually be sent a transcript of all questions that were asked today during this presentation. So we will get that. I'll receive that about a week after this presentation concludes. And so I'll get that so I can then respond. So it's okay if we don't get to everyone's question today, we will have those sent to us and can respond at that point in time. With that being said, my name is Lucas Moore, and I serve as the Associate Director of Admissions here at Anderson University. I work strictly with transfer students, so just kind of helping them through the admissions process, application process, financial aid, what does that look like, those types of things, and just kind of helping you understand the transfer process here at Anderson University. So I do want to go ahead and begin just kind of with an overview of Anderson, just who we are. What we're about, those types of things, but I also want to dig into the application process here at Anderson as well, especially in the midst of just everything that's going on, some different changes that we've made with our application and what is required. So we'll also talk about that later as well. And then we will jump into scholarships, financial aid, FAFSA, all those things. So really we'll cover a lot of information today. Feel free to take notes as we go through. We'll start with, as I said, a general overview and then jump into application and financial aid. Let's begin with what we like to call great academics. Okay, so here at Anderson, we kind of operate off of 4 different pillars. All right, and so the first of those 4 being great academics. That may seem obvious. Obviously, you're saying, well, yeah, you're a college, university, a place of higher education, but we really believe in the academic programs here at Anderson. We're always adding to our academic programs that we offer for students. In addition to that, we really strive to make it more of a personal relationship that you get to have with professors. They get to know you, you get to know them through smaller class sizes, through professors being intentional as they teach. You'll find a lot of our classes are not just a lecture where you're just kind of taking notes and that's the class. It's a lot of innovation, interaction, and just a lot of different activities along with the lecture that is happening in a day-to-day class. In addition to that, we just believe the academics should be the forefront. And so obviously you want to do well, wherever you are currently at as a transfer, but we also want you to succeed here at Anderson. And so we've been recognized for a few different items. I'll kind of let you just kind of read through some of those with best colleges through US News and World Report. And so we are one of the fastest growing private universities in the country. And so we're really excited about that. Our total enrollment is around 3,800 students. Now that is total enrollment. So that includes graduate programs and adult studies programs. Our traditional undergraduate is around 2,600 students with about 60% of those living here on campus. as resident students. So again, about 2,600 undergraduate students here at AU. So not too big, not too small, kind of a nice size there in the middle with about 2,600. But in addition to those things, we have been listed as just the best value university. We're really proud about that because, obviously wherever you go, you all are college students currently, typically you're paying wherever you go, right? And so what are you getting for what you're paying? What are you getting in return for the investment that you are making? And so being acknowledged as one of the best value schools by U.S. News and World Report really means a lot to us. Again, going back to the professors that we hire here at Anderson, they know they're hired to do more than just educate. They're here to invest in students' lives to help you get to whatever that career path or end goal is. If it's graduate school, if it's a certain career, they really strive to help you. It's more of like a team effort as opposed to just one individual person. And so a few others: top tier university, best college, most innovative, best undergraduate teaching. That's really important to us as well. A lot of the professors that you'll have here at Anderson, you'll find that they are not or have not been career educators. So simply meaning they've worked in the field, they've worked in the industry that you're interested in. Maybe that's interior design, maybe that's political science, maybe that's one of our biology programs, kinesiology, physical therapy programs, nursing, whatever that may be. A lot of your professors have worked in that environment, they've worked in that industry, and so they can bring that knowledge to the classroom as well and incorporate that into their teaching and their lecture. So really happy and excited about that. Best undergraduate teaching, that's really important because your professors, aside from classmates, are probably going to be the people you see most here at Anderson University. And so you want that to be a good relationship, and you want them to be knowledgeable with what they are teaching. And then student engagement as well. With student engagement, we're going to talk about that a little bit further in more detail here on this next slide. So we were recently recognized by the Wall Street Journal number 27 in the nation for most student engagement. So just talking about student engagement, that's really what is our campus doing to get students plugged in outside of the classroom. That's really important when you are a transfer student. I was a transfer student myself. Obviously with transfer students and you're going to another school, college, university, and there are important questions of, okay, how do my credits transfer? How much does this cost? How long will I have here before earning my degree? But another side of that too is what is there for transfer students? What kind of programs are available? How do we help get you plugged into a campus community that you didn't begin with as a freshman? When you're coming in and there are folks that have already been there 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and they've kind of grown and established a community. And so the fact that our student activities office here on campus does such a great job to be noticed and recognized as the number 27 university in the US as the most student engagement was something we were really excited about. And so I think you'll find as a transfer student, sure, those are important questions, everything I just outlined about time, cost, and credits transferring, but also, what does your college experience look like here at Anderson, and what does that college life for a transfer student look like? We have numerous programs to help you get plugged in, help you get established. We have something called Welcome Week that we'll talk about. That happens at the beginning of every semester. And so that is a way really as a kickoff to a new school year, and it helps you just to start getting plugged in, start meeting folks within your major, within your residence hall, whatever the case might be. And start building a community here at Anderson University. So you're also diving into that college experience as well. So really happy about that accolade, that recognition we received. In addition to that, I want to go back to talking a little bit about innovation. So here at Anderson, we, as you can read there, fewer than 25 universities in the US are Apple Distinguished Schools. We are an Apple Distinguished School. We've earned this recognition 3 separate times. So we're really excited about that as well. Every incoming student, transfer or freshman, will receive an iPad, the latest model version of the iPad. Sure, that's great for Netflix and Hulu and all those things, but we also use that. Professors will incorporate that in the classroom. And that is where we've received this recognition, this distinguishment here, is because of our ability and professors' creativity in using the iPad in the classroom and incorporating technology within the classroom. And so just an example of this, we have a certain class here on campus where students have a Bluetooth device kind of wraps around the top part of the head and then kind of comes down like a little mouthpiece too, but is measuring brain activity. And so you have an app that you download on your iPad. And so it's showing you real life data as you're asking a student questions or having them go through a certain task, and it's measuring brainwave activity. And you're looking at that live, it's live data there on your iPad. So it's just really neat. And again, that's just one small example of how it's used within the classroom. But again, just pushing towards innovation as well. We never just want to be stagnant or sitting still. We always want to be moving forward. Our leadership here at Anderson strongly believes in that and just continuing forward because, the outside world is changing. Jobs are changing. Careers are changing. What employers want out of college graduates is changing. And so to be effective and to serve students best, we have to keep up with that as well. So I think we do a really great job of that here at AU. Secondly, let's talk about the second pillar, great hospitality. That's important to us. We want everyone, not just students, everyone that steps foot on campus to feel a sense of hospitality here, feel a sense of, you could call this place home, or this just has a good feel about it. And so we do a great job, I think, of instilling that not only in students, but faculty, staff, senior leadership, those folks. Really, people ask all the time, my favorite part about working here at Anderson and being on staff here at Anderson, for me, it's simple. It's just the people. And that sounds like an easy answer, but it's true. There's just a genuine spirit here on campus that you see beyond students. It is our students as well, but it also transcends from the top position here on campus to the lowest position here on campus. And so great hospitality is very important to us. The third pillar we'll discuss here today is great purpose. We believe that God has put you here for a reason, and we believe that He has a purpose for each and every one of you. And so we want to hopefully help you find that here at Anderson, and maybe what that looks like in a career, and whatever that may be, whatever you have interest in. So again, we hope that you can find kind of what that purpose is. We hope that you can just pinpoint, what that is. And we hope, that our goal here is to help get you to that point, help grow you, develop you in more ways than just academics to get you to that point, the place that you want to be, not even when you finish, but just in life in general, and continue moving forward and progressing. So again, we believe everyone has a purpose here and a reason for being here. And so we just hope that we can help just get you to that point, whatever it may be. A few things on that with great purpose. Obviously, your end goal is to find some type of career. Now, that may not be immediate when you graduate. Maybe you have grad school in your future. Maybe you're going to PT school, med school, dental school, whatever the case might be, just a master's degree for, counseling. A lot of our psychology students kind of go that route. And so, we know that there are different avenues and different routes that you'll be going when you do graduate. But again, we hope to help develop you in that way. And so here at Anderson, we do have a Center for Career Development office on campus. There's a quick list of a few of the items that they help you with. And parents really appreciate this as well. What are you doing to help my student get prepared for a career when they finish up? And so there, like I said, just a few items that they will help you with: grad school information, internship opportunities, getting you plugged into internships while you're a student here, not even just an internship when you graduate, getting you plugged into internships while you're in class and in college here at Anderson. So we believe in that. It's important to get, some relevant work experience if you can while you're here. And so you're better equipped for the job market when you graduate. And so even if you're like, man, I've never really written a resume before, I've never really looked at a cover letter, how do I need to tailor that to specific employers? What does all of that look like? They can help you with that. They'll schedule appointments with you. You can see at the bottom, you can just walk in. You don't always need an appointment. They'll help you with interviews. Maybe some of you have never interviewed before, or maybe it's just been for a part-time position or whatever the case might be. They'll help you with that. And so that's a great just department here on campus. And as a transfer student, a department you want to get plugged into sooner rather than later, because the majority of transfer students are not freshmen or even sophomores. They're typically a sophomore or junior level. And so you want to jump in and just start getting ready for whatever that looks like, grad school or career. when you finish up with us. Another kind of resource we have here on campus, the Ron Blue Center. The Ron Blue Center helps you just really with finances and being good stewards of what God has blessed you with and managing finances and just, getting to a point where you understand, even different lingo when it comes to different financial terms and words and sayings. And you kind of just know what you're doing when you, find that career or you start managing your own finances. A lot of times you're buying a house, a car, signing a lease on an apartment when you're graduating, those types of things. Just honestly, you're starting in the real world, right? That's kind of the goal when you're 22 or 23 and you're graduating and kind of taking that next step. And so this has been a really strong asset for us here at Anderson in just helping students, not only with the career side of things, but the financial side of things too, and what all that looks like. Lastly, we'll talk about, before we jump into admissions process and financial aid, talk about Great Faith. We are a Baptist affiliated university. We are located in Anderson, South Carolina. So we're roughly 2 hours from 2 hours from Atlanta, 2 hours from Charlotte, about 35 minutes from Greenville. And so we are, like I said, a Baptist affiliated university. So the faith is a huge component and it's incorporated into everything that we do here at Anderson. Now, students are not required to sign or write up any type of statement of faith. Faculty are, so your professors are believers. Students are not required to do that. We do have some chapel services that we'll talk about in just a moment. But before that, here's a list of some of the campus ministries that you can get plugged into here on campus. So anything from BCM, you can see Baptist Collegiate Ministry. That takes place every Thursday night. So that's something that you can be a part of if you so choose. We have CREW, FCA, RUF, and then women's ministry too. So aside from study abroad and aside from internship opportunities, we also have mission trips that students can take part in if they so choose. Those can be domestic, those can be international mission trips. Obviously, with where we are now, that has been slowed down just a little bit due to COVID-19, but still able to get plugged in and take part in those if you so choose. And that's just really a great opportunity to grow and learn more and kind of get outside of the realm of academics and start kind of seeing, the world in a larger scale and a bigger picture and just kind of immersing yourself in. Maybe it's a different culture that you're involved in, that you're wherever you're traveling to for a mission trip or even study abroad. Those are great ways to just enhance your learning and experience while you're in college. Aside from that, our Christian ministries, we have so many campus opportunities and activities. That goes back to our student engagement recognition. This kind of speaks to that. Different clubs and organizations you can be a part of. We do have intramural sports as well. So intramurals are really popular here on campus, aside from athletics, school sanctioned athletic programs that we'll talk about as well. But if you want to be a part of a sports team, but you don't want to be dedicated to the practice schedule and, all the time that it takes in being a Division II athlete, you can do intramurals. And so we have a lot of opportunities there as well. So get plugged in. That's the biggest thing that I can tell you. Even as a transfer student, sometimes I work with transfer students and they're just looking to get in and get out. But I strongly just kind of advise them, hey, that's okay. I understand you're looking at time. Like, hey, I just want to finish up my degree, but also take part in the campus culture here at Anderson and get plugged in some way. Even if you live off campus, that's totally fine. We have plenty of students that live off campus that are still leaders here on campus, and they're plugged in various groups and activities and clubs and organizations, and really just getting the most of the college experience as they possibly can. Let's continue on some of those activities. As I mentioned, we do have obviously school sanctioned sports. We are NCAA Division II. We play in the South Atlantic Conference. Okay, and so our school colors were black and gold. You can see those here. You can see all the sports that we offer down below. You'll notice lacrosse kind of at the top right. We have started our men's lacrosse team. They will begin this spring with their first season here at Anderson. We will be starting a women's lacrosse team as well in the next few years. And then you notice on the bottom right, we're starting football in 2024. So we're really excited about that as well. Still, a little less than 4 years now out, but we're excited about that and hope to have a coach hired in the next year or so, and kind of move forward with that process. So we will have an NCAA Division II football team coming up in 2024. But again, lacrosse, that's starting. Most popular sports is basketball right now. So men's basketball and women's basketball. Our strongest sport on campus is probably women's basketball or volleyball. But basketball is kind of the king of campus at this point. But a lot of great other sports programs here as well. Let's talk a little bit now too. I know everyone's kind of interested in, okay, application, what does that look like? And as a transfer student, how does that differ from maybe what a freshman application would look like? Let's walk through this a little bit. So everything that you see here, you will not have to submit, just kind of depending on credit hours. Let me first go ahead and say we are test optional for fall 21. So if you are, worried about sending an ACT, SAT, you do not have to do that. The only major you have to do that for is nursing. So regardless of being test optional, if you are a nursing major, you do have to submit an ACT or SAT test score, because there is a test score requirement that our nursing department requires you have before being admitted. So that's the only stipulation. Now, even before COVID, if you had 24 completed college credit hours, you didn't have to turn in a test score anyway. Now, again, if you are a nursing major, you would, but any other major, you don't have to. So 24 hours or more would get you out of sending a test score anyway. But even in addition to that, it doesn't matter how many college credit hours you have. We will not need that unless you are a nursing major. So let's talk about what you do need. You do need to apply. The application is found at our website, andersonuniversity.edu. So that's the website that you need to go to. Spring 21 is still open. So we bring in, close to 50 or so spring transfers. So if you are interested in applying for that semester, you definitely can. It's still open and available. And then fall 21 is open as well. So you can apply for either semester. Spring is obviously our next start date, with fall to follow next August. So you submit your application. There is a $40 application fee that students will turn in. And then we will need all official college transcripts. Again, if you have 24 or more completed college credit hours, we will not need your high school transcript. Okay, so that is only needed if you have less than 24 completed college credit hours. So it may be that depending on how long you've been in, all you need to submit is your application fee, and college transcripts. If you have less than 24, that's okay. You can still transfer to Anderson. Just be sure to submit that high school transcript to us as well. And that would be your final high school transcript, since you would be a graduate at this point in time. From there, let's just fast forward. I just wanted to show you all three steps or phases of the admissions process. So students will apply, and then acceptance information is mailed out to students with an email to follow. So we do rolling admissions here at Anderson. That simply means once your application is completed, it will go to be reviewed. So it takes about 2 weeks to hear back once you submit all of your application and application materials. So again, rolling admissions. So that just simply means decisions are constantly going out as applications are completed. So let's just fast forward and say, okay, you've applied, you've been accepted to Anderson. Well, what's next? If you decide to enroll with us, you say Anderson is where I want to go. You'll submit your enrollment fee. Okay, so your enrollment fee will act as a housing deposit if you elect to live on campus. If you are going to live off campus, that will just be deducted from whatever you owe for your first semester. So you would just deduct $250 from that. So this is not a wasted fee by any stretch. This is going towards something. This is being applied as either a housing deposit or towards your overall tuition cost at Anderson for that first semester. So again, we really break this down into three main steps. It's application, acceptance to Anderson, and then submitting your enrollment fee, kind of in that order. Let me talk about transcripts here and getting those evaluated. Once a student is accepted to Anderson, that is when your transcripts will go to be reviewed by our registrar's office, and they will do an official transcript evaluation for you. Now, if you would like, you can send me an unofficial transcript if you so choose, an unofficial transcript, and then I can do an unofficial transcript evaluation for you and send that over to you. And then registrar will have the final say, but I can at least take a look and start giving you an idea of what transfers. Also, I want to talk a little bit more about this because I know this is so important to transfer students. most of all of your credits, your general education courses, that means, prob and stats, a psychology, sociology, a lab science like bio or chemistry, astronomy, English 101, 102, your foreign languages, those types of courses typically transfer right over as classes here at Anderson. So just know that as you're taking some of those typically transfer right over. If a class doesn't transfer as an actual specific course at Anderson, 9 times out of 10, it will transfer as a general elective. So it'll transfer as just kind of an elective class, which every major here has a certain number of general elective hours that you have to meet. And so it isn't, even though it doesn't count as an exact course, it isn't wasted necessarily. You can apply that towards your general elective requirement. And then that just means there's fewer general elective classes that you need to take. So the question isn't always if my credits will transfer. The more important question is how do they transfer? So just keep that in mind. I know that's always the main question a transfer student has. It was the main question I had when I was transferring, 6 years or however many years ago now. But just know that we can help answer those for you and get you that information that you need. And so that's kind of when that process will take place. But again, you can also email me an unofficial transcript evaluation. Let's keep moving forward and discuss financial aid a little bit. So with FAFSA, for those of you that are a spring 21 interest, go ahead and send your FAFSA to us. That'll get processed again once you have been admitted to Anderson University. For those of you that are fall 21 interest, it's already open. As you can see there, it opened October 1st. So still go ahead and start working on that and getting it sent to us. But for those of you that are spring 21, you've probably already done this FAFSA if you're using it currently at your current institution because it's the fall 20, spring 21 FAFSA. So you probably already completed it, just need to go in and send it to us. But FAFSA.gov, again, opened October 1st for those of you for fall 21. That one opened October 1st, so that's open and available as well. You're probably familiar with some of these items: federal Pell Grant, direct loan, Parent Plus loan, work study, those items. Again, all types of federal aid that students can receive. Again, these are items you can use here at Anderson as well. Our financial aid office will process your FAFSA, and then they will mail you a letter showing what you've qualified for through your FAFSA that you've submitted to us. Whatever you're currently receiving at your current institution probably is going to be about the same here at Anderson. That shouldn't change. I know it won't change if you're a mid-year start. So whatever you're receiving currently this semester, and then you're transferring spring of 21, that would be the same. Where you could maybe see a little bit of change is fall 21. But by and large, that should remain pretty consistent with federal aid. Now, let's talk about some state scholarships. I know everyone on here may not be a graduate of a South Carolina high school, but if you are and you're receiving Life Palmetto Fellows, you can use that here at Anderson as well. Just make sure you're keeping 30 credit hours a year and a 3.0 GPA. I know Palmetto Fellows says 3.5, but it is also a 3.0 college GPA. That's the 3.5 is what you need as a high school student to receive it. But if you are receiving those scholarships, you can use those here. Again, the state of South Carolina just requires you to maintain 30 credit hours a year and a 3.0 GPA. So just be sure you're doing those things and you can keep using those scholarships year in and year out. Now, for those of you that are maybe not South Carolina residents, didn't graduate from a South Carolina high school, maybe you're out of state and you're interested in Anderson, we do offer out-of-state students a $3,000 out-of-state grant renewable per year that you're a full-time student with us. So do know that. All you have to do is apply and be accepted, and as an out-of-state student, you'll receive that. That is because obviously you would be missing out on any state scholarships that your home state may offer. And so we do like to offer that to help negate some of those costs that you may incur just for being an out-of-state student. Let me pause there and say that our tuition is the same for in-state and out-of-state. Okay, there is no difference in our tuition cost for an in-state student and an out-of-state student. But the reason that we offer this for an out-of-state student, again, is because if you transfer and you're going out of state, you're not going to be receiving those state scholarships that maybe you would have at your home state. So we do like to offer that for our out-of-state accepted students. That goes all 4 years that you're a full-time, or not all four. If you're transferring, you're hopefully not going to be here for 4 years, but each year that you're a full-time student with us, that'll carry over with you. Let's talk a little bit now about scholarships that Anderson offers. So we do offer different merit scholarships. This is based off your college GPA. So you can see those different levels there. Again, that is the college GPA. So if you have that GPA or if you have somewhere in between, that's the amount you'll receive. It goes from $9,000 to $11,000 that you can receive, again, based off of your college GPA. And we'll know that from the college transcript you submit when you apply. Those are also renewable. Let me go back to that. These are also renewable per year that you are a full-time student with us. So you can carry those over in addition to state scholarships, to the out-of-state grant, in addition to federal aid. So you kind of start adding that together to go towards your overall cost here at Anderson. I do want to touch briefly on just payment options here at Anderson. I know this is an important question for any student, but especially transfer students, as you're familiar with the process, in terms of payments and those types of things at your current school. So let's talk a little bit about that here at Anderson. So you'll pay by semester. A lot of you may be familiar with that process, but you'll pay by semester here at Anderson. So whatever you owe after all of your financial aid is accounted for, whatever balance is left will be split in half. Half of that is applied to your fall semester, half of that applied to your spring semester. And then of that half, you have the option, you have one of two options. The first is to make your semester payment in full in one payment, or you can elect to do an interest-free payment plan. So you can go as many as 6 months out in the fall. You can go as many as 5 months out in the spring. So again, there's no interest tacked on. It is whatever that true balance is for the semester divided by 6, 5, or 4. And so you will have that option as well. Again, whichever you prefer. Some folks like to do it in one payment per semester and just finish it up, and that's totally fine. Completely understand that. Others enjoy maybe I shouldn't say enjoy, others prefer to just break that down into further monthly plans as well. So with that, I want to conclude here before we jump into questions, just with Jeremiah 29:11. I hope this just offers some encouragement for you all as you're just kind of in this process right now and just kind of navigating what's next and looking at making a jump possibly to another college, university. So hopefully this just helps as you're kind of navigating that process, and hopefully this just helps you with that and offers some encouragement as well. But feel free to contact me as well, just with any questions that you may have. I'd be happy to help answer those for you. Again, I get it. I understand as a former transfer student that there's a lot of questions that can come up with that. And so I'd be happy to help answer those as you have them. But with that, feel free to use the chat, the Q&A to start asking questions. I'm looking at it now. I don't see any right now, but please take this time. We have about 10 minutes left. So this is perfect. This is about where I wanted to stop. So we would have plenty of time for questions. If you don't have any, that's okay, but please feel free to type those there. And I can kind of keep an eye on this and help kind of manage those for you. But any questions that anyone may have for me at this time. If you're taking notes and you kind of want my direct contact information, my direct line is 864-231-5662. Again, 864-231-5662. That's my direct office line. So you can reach out and I can help answer questions. Looks like we have one here. What are job opportunities for students? Kind of what's available for students? That's a great question. And actually, I failed to mention this. When we were looking at federal aid, obviously you saw a federal work study. So if you qualify for a federal work study, you can definitely take part in that and work here on campus. That's what a work study is. In addition to that, however, here at Anderson, we have our own work study. So any student on this campus can participate in a work study position. Just because you don't qualify for one through your FAFSA doesn't mean you can't take part in one here on campus. So we have what we call AU work studies, Anderson University work studies. And you can work in admissions, you can work in financial aid, our library, be a tour guide. We have students that work in their residence hall and they get discounted housing rates. They work in the gym here on campus, like the athletic facility for students that has, different yoga classes, spin classes, the workout facility. So there's a front desk area there that students will work. We have a front desk area in our student center. We have opportunities running like soundboard and audio visual equipment for presentations that we do in our theater and our student center theater. So if you're techie and you enjoy working soundboards and videos and lights and all those things, we have a lot of opportunity there just from different events that are hosted here on campus, using our theater, using our banquet hall. So really a lot of areas that students can get plugged in and start working. So I hope that helps answer your question. I'll also add to that we do have an on-campus job board that is reserved for students, Anderson students specifically. So it'll have all the campus postings there. It'll have what's required. Do they need a resume? Do they just need references? Is a cover letter required? It'll outline that. And then you can also do your own research and see what jobs are available and then submit your application there at that time. So it's all online. It's similar to like an Indeed would be, if you're familiar with that, or any different job posting website. We have one reserved for Anderson students. It's called Handshake. And so you will get acclimated and get login credentials for that once you become a student. Great question. Are there others? Other questions? Let me also take this time just to give you my email address. My direct email is lmoore, M-O-O-R-E. Again, lmoore, M-O-O-R-E @andersonuniversity.edu. It's a long one, all spelled out, lowercase, one word, @andersonuniversity.edu. So if you want to send me an email with anything, you can do that as well. We'll allow for any other questions. We still have a few more minutes here. So any other questions that anyone has, please ask those. I'll also mention, as we're seeing if there are any others, I'll also mention that we are having in-person campus visits. And so if you are interested in touring our campus, learning about academics, learning about scholarships in more detail, learning just more about Anderson University, you can sign up for an in-person campus visit through our website, andersonuniversity.edu. You'll see a little button at the top right when you're on our main webpage. It'll say visit campus. These are, socially distanced visits. We are taking every precaution we can. There are temperature checks required at the beginning for everyone. You'll fill out a few screening forms for us. So we're doing our best just to make it as safe as possible, but still wanted students to have that opportunity as it's such a big decision in making that college decision. So still wanted you to have that opportunity to visit. Masks are required for visits as well. So, we are taking precautions, but definitely sign up if you're interested. It's a way to really get to see campus up close and personal. You can even meet a current student that's in the program that you might be interested in. So you can sign up for an in-person campus visit at this point. A lot of different major opportunities here as well. We do have, School of the Arts programs here, graphic design, theater, dance, music education, acting, a lot of different programs in that realm. We are one of 9 private universities that has an interior design program. And so we do have a strong and very robust and well-known interior design program. Our sciences, kinesiology, I mentioned that earlier. You can do athletic training, pre-physical therapy, or exercise science. So a lot of in the sciences, our nursing program, we had 100% pass rate on NCLEX this past year. So we were really excited about that. You can't do any better than 100%. So we were really excited with those numbers when we got those back. So definitely take a look at our academic programs that are offered as well. I'm not seeing any other questions. I do want to just take one more moment just to say thank you for joining us today. Hope everyone is doing well. Hopefully no one was severely impacted by the weather that came through this morning, but happy to have you on with us. Thanks again for joining. And I will turn it over to CACRAO at this point and let them wrap up and conclude this session.
Okay, thank you so much to our presenter and to all of you who joined us this afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with one last slide for you. So thank you again. We just ask that when you close out this window, there's going to be a quick 4-question survey that pops up. If you could fill that out, we would greatly appreciate it. You can also sign up for more sessions at CACRAO.org. That's CACRAO.org. They're happening this week and next. And this recording will be available at that same website, CACRAO.org. Thank you all and have a great day.